Welcome to Turks and Caicos. Grace Bay Beach is described as one of the most beautiful beaches in the world. Oh wow, I can actually see fish through the water. Some of the places that you should eat when you're here include that. Just look how clear the water is. We wanted to go to a place that was a bit more quiet. Our driver suggested this. It's all right, let's get cozy right here. Let's kick off this thing. Whoa! All right, welcome to Turks and Caicos, everyone. I'm on what I believe is one of the best beaches on the entire archipelago. At the end of this video, I'll tell you exactly where I am and exactly how you can get here to experience one of the most serene beaches that this country has to offer. Cannot be accessed by foot alone unless you're in a property that butts up right next to it. So if you're elsewhere on Providenciales, you'll need to have a car to get here or hire a taxi, which is what we did. So for what you lose in access, you gain in privacy. There's maybe a few dozen people along this beach, and when we came here yesterday, I was standing close to where I am now, walking through like this. As you see, it's very shallow for a good distance out. And I saw a stingray avoiding me passing along the coastline. Exciting and scary. We have been here for about a week, taking some time off, so I thought I would share with you all what worked for us on this trip and what hopefully will work for you. So let's start right at the top. What do you need to know if you're about to visit this part of the Caribbean? Well, first, the waters behind me and all over this island are just about crystal clear, and you get to see that beautiful change in color from clear to turquoise to blue to deep dark blue. And the temperatures, we're here in the month of January, they're not warm. These are relatively chilly waters, the kind of water where you need to get in and deal with the freeze for a few moments before your body adjusts. But it really is beautiful. To get around, you will need cash for a taxi and cabs. It won't be cheap. This is the livelihood for a lot of people here, and so they will charge you per person when you get in these taxis and cars. There is no major public transit system, so you want to bring your $10 bills, your $20 bills. They do accept US currency, even though this is a British overseas protectorate. And about that, everyone here mostly speaks English, but you will find French speakers from the island who are working and living here. Our driver, in fact, is a woman from Haiti who was giving us some of the best tips. She told us about this beach, and if you're interested and you're coming here, send me a message on the socials and I'll get you in contact with her. Make friends with your driver. Take their phone number when they pick you up at the airport, or if you meet a driver who is extremely friendly. We did that and have had someone to be able to take us to and from restaurants and other locations the whole time we've been here. It's been really pleasant, and I always advise people when they're visiting a country, don't just stay in the hotel. Don't just speak to hotel staff. Get out, meet people, and really get a sense for the culture of where you're visiting. It is gorgeous out here. I'm in the middle of my run, so the sweat is from actually getting my heart rate up, not from walking around. And just look how clear the water is. Really nice. Another top tip is come here to relax. There are plenty of activities like scuba diving. I did some snorkeling just around these rocks. So there is a lot of wildlife and nature that you can see, but for the most part, this is an island nation that is focused on leisure. Let's talk about Grace Bay Beach. That's where I went walking earlier. It has some of the world's best hotels, including the Ritz-Carlton and Club Med, a sprawling property there with a lot of beach chairs, a lot of people, but it didn't seem to us to be extremely congested. So while you can jump on a jet ski, you can get out on a paddleboard, you can snorkel, and you can scuba dive, you should expect to come here and relax on these fine sands and beautiful beaches. Let's talk about the weather. The off season is typically during the summer months when, of course, hurricanes hit Caribbean nations with a vengeance sometimes. I'll post a link to a story I covered in the Bahamas when a Category 5 hurricane destroyed the island of Grand Bahama and Abaco. That was in September of 2019. But for the most part, there are weather systems that come through bringing wind, bringing rain. While they can be serious, the good news is they typically do move through quickly. When we came here in the month of January, it had actually rained before we arrived, so everything was pretty soaked when we got here. There were still clouds in the sky. It did mean that we didn't get this direct sunlight, but we were able to enjoy the warmth and the waters. In fact, the clouds brought with them winds that made the seas very choppy. And on one of the days that we were hanging out on Grace Bay Beach, where we're staying, there was a red flag warning, which means you shouldn't get into the waters. And remember, as beautiful as it looks, the ocean is powerful, and riptides can suck you out at a moment's notice. There's a time known as a secret season, and that's during the shoulder months of November and May. You have low humidity, great weather here, but also fewer tourists. Some of the places that you should eat when you're here include the Conch Shack. This is right on the beach. You can feel the breeze. They have live music and a DJ sometimes. Get yourself a rum punch jug, call it a night. This is the butter poached cracked lobster. That's the tender jerk chicken with rice and greens. Fried conch fritters for our starters because it's fresh. They're harvested shells right on the waters. This is another popular spot, the Coco Van. This is an informal dining location that is very popular. They don't take reservations, but you can order your food ahead of time over the phone. When you arrive, they'll give you an estimate as to how long it will take for you to receive your food. For us, it was anywhere between 45 minutes to an hour and a half. But once we got our food, and there are all sorts of conch varieties, it was absolutely delicious. You find a bench to sit on, and they bring you your food. You can order a drink in the meantime. That was wonderful. Another restaurant we were advised to go to was Grace's Cottage. This has an outdoor setting and it's really beautiful. So we went there at night. It had all sorts of dimly lit tables and walkways. Now I will say the food was nice. I'm not raving about it, and your brother likes spice. So when things are watered down for the tourists, that doesn't really resonate with me. Still, the dishes we had were quite amazing. Those are just a few of the restaurants that we enjoyed. If you're interested in additional recommendations, I'll include it in the information on this video, or just send me a DM and I'll share what I know. Another top tip I would give you when you get here, if you do fly into Providenciales and you get to your hotel, make a stop at the grocery store. There's a large grocery store close to where the restaurants and hotels are located, where we stocked up on fruits, breads, yogurts, waters, and other things, just so that in the boutique hotel we were staying in, we would be able to pack a bag for lunch and come to beaches like this and enjoy ourselves. The one thing about where I am now, which I'm just about to tell you about, is that there's only really one restaurant and it's a bit of a walk away. So we packed sandwiches and snacks for us to enjoy. How can you get here? We asked our driver, where can we go that won't be too busy? Grace Bay Beach is described as one of the most beautiful beaches in the world because of the fine sand, the shallow waters, and all of the hotels and kind of lounge chairs around. We wanted to go to a place that was a bit more quiet. Our driver suggested this. It's Taylor Bay Beach. We're actually in a residential part of the island. All the buildings that you see in the distance are people's homes or villas that they rent out. You can find some of them on Airbnb. We just checked for anywhere between $1,300 to $1,500 a night. So get some of your best friends together and make a trip. And because of that, it's more quiet here. So there's a special walkway from a road where you can park if you're renting a vehicle, or you can have your taxi driver drop you off. That access path will bring you to this beach where there's only, a few dozen people here today. Yesterday it was more cloudy and we also didn't see too many people. There's not very many kids. I'm also told that the geography helps this spot stay quaint. We're staying on the other side of this island facing the Atlantic, and it's been windy. It was raining before we arrived and there have been clouds. So the beachfront where we're staying is choppy. I was able to jump in the water, but it was cold this side, the Caribbean facing side, the waters were much calmer. Today, it's not even windy or rainy or cloudy, so we're getting the best of both worlds in that the weather is better, and this side of the island is calm. We're basically on the Caribbean side of the island, close to the airport. There's only a few access roads to get here, and you should bring your towels, bring your snacks, bring some shade, because there isn't much of it, only a few trees, and bring your snorkels as well. As I said, I was walking when I saw a stingray float right next to me, and I then came out with the snorkels to see what else I could find, and I only saw a few schools of fish, and I've yet to see a turtle. But yes, apparently turtles are all over this place. And I guess that would be my final tip. Locals will always tell you they want to protect these beautiful beaches as much as possible. So anything that you bring, anything that you consume, make sure you pick up the trash and clean up after yourself. So if you want to come here and help take care of this place, feel free. I know that I've had a wonderful time. It's been quite cool. What is that? Let's avoid it. Let's just go this way. I have been able to keep up my running while I've been here. I'm training for the United Half Marathon in New York, and I'll share with you more of what it's like to train for a half marathon, because trust me, if I can do it, you can do it. And if you enjoyed this video, I think you'll really enjoy what's coming up next.